Do you have mentors? And if so, how did they help you to shape your life?
Definitely my parents were my first mentors. But I would tell you, my first job on Wall Street was working at Bear Stearns, and they haven't been in the greatest light the past few years. But that was a tough environment to work in, working on Wall Street, working in financial services, being, young and trying to prove yourself in that kind of environment was tough. And my boss at the time had been there like 30 years. So she definitely knew, how to work in that environment, who the right people were. So she was great about introducing me to the right people, getting me involved in the right projects. She also was a really tough lady. And I will tell you that she taught me how to grow a thicker skin and how to be tough and not take things personally and things like that. And I think as a woman working on Wall Street, you have to be tough. But she also taught me as a manager what things not to do, because she was pretty tough on us as a staff. And I will tell you that a lot of the things and the things that she said and did, I was like, okay, when I start to manage staff, I'm never going to do these things, and I haven't. So I took some of those lessons as like, okay, here's what not to do, but here's what to do. So she was a great mentor. My job after that, working for a division of One Beacon, was the president of the company. I will tell you, who's still a friend of mine today, but. This was the first company where I had to build a learning function from the ground up. He really had a lot of faith in me. I reported to the CFO, who reported to the president. And actually, I'm the type of person that if you're going to ask the questions and you want the feedback, I'm going to give it to you regardless of if you're one of my subordinates or you're the president of the company. If you don't want to know the answer, don't ask me, because I'm going to be honest. And we implemented a 360 feedback process to get feedback, and it was focused, specifically on leadership. So it was on the senior management all the way down to first line supervisors, but it was their direct reports completing it, plus some of their peers. And the president, most of his direct reports, who were the head of claims, the head of underwriting, the CFO, were afraid of him. And he was an intimidating guy, and they didn't want to, share their feedback from their 360 with him. And I remember him calling me up and saying, well, just give me their reports. I want to see their reports. And I said, well, I can't do that. We explained that this information would not be shared with anyone unless they chose to share it. He's like, well, I'm the president of the company, and if I want these reports, you're going to give them to me. So I said to him, well, I want you to think about what you're asking me to do. And I want you to think about it overnight. And if tomorrow morning you still want the reports, I will bring them up to your office and hand them to you with my resignation letter. And he said, you got to be kidding me right now. This is ridiculous. And I said, this is my integrity on the line. And I promised these people that this information would be confidential. So if you're asking me to break that promise, then I have no integrity here. No one will ever trust me again. And so why would I work here any longer? So I said, I'm going to hang up now before anyone says anything else that we may regret, and I'll call you tomorrow morning. And so I did, and he said, come up to my office. I said, should I bring the reports? He said, no. So he said, I got to tell you, you have a lot of guts to tell me, the president of the company, that you're not going to give me something that I'm asking for. He goes, nobody ever says no to me. But you did. And the fact that you did that, I actually think I could learn a lot from you. He goes, you could learn some things from me too, but I think I could learn a lot from you also. And from that point, I started coaching him. And he became one of my clients. And so I did learn a lot from him on how to manage business, how to deal with people, but he also learned a lot from me too. And still now, 10 years later, we're still very close. And he told me that I reminded him so much of his daughter that it was scary. But, those are the kinds of people that have influenced and mentored me. And, it's not just a one-way street. I think that we both complement each other.